Picture this. Maggie, a high school physics teacher, stands at the edge of a rocky hill as the wind whips through her hair. In her hand is a simple rock. It's an ordinary object, nothing too spectacular, one of hundreds scattered across the hillside. To the untrained eye, it's just lying there, waiting to be ignored. But Maggie sees something extraordinary potential. Science is all about perspectives, she begins, turning to her small group of students, their faces eager with curiosity. On the surface, this rock looks lifeless. It isn't moving. But physics? She holds up the rock, her voice dipping into a tone filled with wonder. Physics tells us it's brimming with potential energy. The students lean in closer. Maggie shifts the rock in her palms, a gesture as natural to her as breathing. She points down the slope where the hill fades into a grassy clearing. Now imagine just for a moment I let this rock go. What do you think happens? It rolls downhill, Kyle mutters. The class laughs softly. Maggie grins. Exactly, she exclaims. But why does it roll? Why doesn't it just stay right here, suspended in midair, completely still? She pauses, letting the question linger like the gaps between piano chords. That's where potential energy comes in. This rock isn't moving yet. There's no kinetic energy because it's not in motion. But because of its position at the top of this hill, it could move. Gravity is pulling on it, ready to transform its stillness into action the moment I release it. Right now, this rock has stored energy, potential energy, and the higher the altitude, the greater that energy becomes. A boulder at the peak of a mountain has even more potential energy than this pebble on this modest hill. She crouches, setting the rock gently back onto the ground. Her voice shifts, warm and reflective, as she draws a connection. Potential energy isn't unique to physics, though. It's everywhere, in music before the first note is played. In sprinters, poised at the starting line, even in us. We all carry our own kind of potential energy, stored inside us, just waiting to be released. The young faces around her seem to brighten with realization. Physics teaches us that every position matters. Just as this rock's placement determines the energy it holds, our own actions and choices determine the paths we can take. Every opportunity, every possibility is potential waiting on the edge of being released, waiting at the top of the hill. And as Maggie walks with her students down the winding path, the rock stays where she had left it. A simple, unassuming object, but now seen in an entirely new light.